समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Okay, last time we done verse 11, which told you what kind of a place it should be where you should meditate. It should be a clean, neat place. There should be no insects or anything to disturb you of in any way. And it should not be too low, it should not be too high, it should not be wobbly, it should be sthira asan, where you can sit firmly without any movement. That without any movement is very, very important for meditation. Gurudev used to say that even the eyelids should not flicker. You should not shift positions. You should not. So, right in the beginning, sit in a way where your body is relaxed and comfortable. Okay. So, now we come to verse 12. So, once you sit like that, what should you do after that? तत्रेकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः उपवेश्यासने युञ्जात् योगम् आत्मविशुद्धये. This is verse 12. It says, there, having made the mind one pointed, with the actions of the mind and the senses controlled, being seated on the seat. See, asane, upavishya asane. Seated on the seat, let him practice yoga for the purification of the self. Now, see, only a highly purified mind and intellect can be quiet. This is the primary necessity to even try to go into meditation. Okay? So, when you say that a highly purified mind and intellect only can meditate, this is the prerequisite. It is the qualification to enter into meditation. So, then how does one do that? That is what is explained here. See, the test of the impurity of the mind is agitations. The more the agitations in the mind, the more impure the mind is. You test yourself on it. If for small little things you suddenly fly off the handle, or you get irritable, or you lose your temper, or you lose your poise, that all that is the mental impurity in your mind. Now, once you quieten the mind and go into meditation, a whole lot of vasanas get purged. They get roasted. Swamiji used to use the word roasted. He used to say that a lot of your desires get roasted in meditation. Now, we all know that a roasted seed does not sprout. So, as you meditate, slowly, the mind automatically becomes more and more calm, and then you are absorbed in the higher. Your mind is so absorbed in the higher because you start getting the taste of that joy. You start getting the taste of that bliss. So, your mind doesn't want to leave it. You say, how is it possible? Have you seen a teenager in love? Yeah. You don't have to tell them to think of the beloved. No matter what they are doing, they are constantly, their mind is with the beloved. Constantly uska jap chal raha hai unke man mein, uske naam ka. How is that? Because the mind is enchanted by a joy. Even if it is an imagined joy, मान लो, it is an imagined joy. The mind is so fascinated by that that I will get that. So, to get that kind of joy, you have to bring yourself into that situation, right? And that is what meditation. Now, then he uses the word ekagram. Hmm. Ek, ek agram. So, the mind and body is united, absolutely united, single focused, and motionless. Absolutely motionless body. Generally, when people sit for meditation, hmm, all kind of things come into the mind. I am not comfortable. The seat is not okay. Then you adjust the seat. Then after that, the fan should be little less, or the AC draft is coming onto me, or something or the other will come in your mind, right? And as I told you that, or some insect will crawl up, or a fly will land on your nose and take off and land again. Something or the other will happen. If nothing outside happens, then from your mind it starts. Something or the other in your mind will begin. Something which you, and silly things. Some people to tell me that, ma'am, the moment I close my eyes, then from one object to another, I start seeing a movie. They say a whole movie, whether it is Munna Bhai or it is some other, the whole movie starts playing out. And after a long time, I realize that, where is my mind? My mind should be at the Lord. I'm sitting there, you know. Think like this, what a great power you are trying to invoke. When you are in the presence of a very big power. Now, that power, सोचना है, supposing you have an appointment with the Prime Minister of India, how much care you take, and you go, you wait, and you're waiting for him to come out, and you're waiting for him to be moved into that room where he is coming, because he does not have a second to waste. Minute to chodiye. So then the thing is कि when you are sitting in front of him, how focused are you? How focused are you into what he is saying, or what you are going to be saying, or what he is going to ask you to do, or what you have come to request him to do, right? Your mind doesn't go to see a movie at that time. Why? Because your mind is so totally focused on him, and you know the importance of that meeting, that you will never get it again, you will never get another chance. But here, अब पूजा रूम तो हमारा है, वी कैन एनी टाइम गो एंड कम. अब भगवान तो वहीं रहते हैं, वो तो गो एनी टाइम यू विल मीट हिम, दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग कम्स इन योर माइंड. So the importance of the action that you are trying to indulge in is not there in your mind, and that's the reason this happens. Also, he uses the word asit, and so you have to sit. He says that after being seated on a seat, it is important, this is important, because not while walking or playing tennis or golf. I know people who tell me कि हमारा तो meditation golf में ही हो जाता है. We concentrate so much on the ball, it's like meditation. It is not. Only concentration is not meditation. Also, there are many people who say we do open eyed meditation while walking. How can you do meditation while walking? He is specifically saying less. These are important points. You must remember these. Now, then, don't allow the mind to leak out even a little bit. Because what happens is that you have to withdraw the mind from the OET, and then you have to balance the mind with the mantra. Gurudev used to say कि ये देखो ये है, after having the mind made the mind one pointed with the actions of the mind and senses controlled, he says, being seated on the seat, let him practice yoga. So only that is possible, and then you practice yoga for the purification of the mind. Then I told you that when you are trying to meditate, a lot of your vasanas get burnt out. So when the vasanas get burnt out, your meditation will automatically improve, because the mind will not get fields to graze about here and there. Now, see, posture is very necessary. That is why he is giving you the details of the posture. So he's given you the first step, how to sit, what the asana should be, and all that. Number two is how to make the mind single pointed. Now, how to make the mind single pointed is the question everybody asks. How? Because the mind runs into so many directions. There are two steps that he tells you. You know, he gives you instruction on these two steps. And the instructions are subdue the imagination. वो जो आपकी कल्पना शक्ति है ना, projection either into the past or into the future or wherever else, you project your mind projects a situation that you should withdraw from. And how does that happen? Because outward pull of the senses is too much. So number two is that outward pull of the senses should be controlled. Dekho, there is only one way to do it. You test yourself on this, that when your mind is pulled towards a certain thing, try to think how, even if you attain that thing, how long will the happiness last? Will it stay with you? And many a times it is not just happiness. Along with it, like in a dowry, come the problems. All kind of problems come with it. You start a new business, huh? And then see the problems that start in the business. Everybody thinks, oh, businessmen are very comfortable, they are very happy. Ask one of them how many things he has to handle, how many things he has to do. And these days, during the time of lockdown and COVID, how many businesses have run aground? Not only small ones, even big businesses. Can you imagine the losses? Can you imagine the problems of those business people? So when your mind goes into this and this, and the more scattered your mind is, the more into projects your mind is, the more it will agitate. You have to withdraw mentally on the seat of meditation. There was something very nice that a businessman asked Gurudev. He said that, Swamiji, I can't sleep at night. The moment I rest my head on the pillow, all kind of worries and tensions come into my mind. And you know what the answer he gave? He said, for that little time, you have to learn to shift that bundle of worries slowly onto the shoulder of the Lord and say कि रात के लिए पकड़ लो, in the morning I'll take it back. Just for the night, look after it, and in the morning I will. So when he is holding it, nothing can go wrong. Just have that faith that when he is holding the bundle, nothing will go wrong. Go to sleep. Next morning, slide it back onto your shoulder. The whole bundle of your worries will come back. Then you tackle it with a fresh mind. Okay. So these two you have to do, because otherwise you waste and dissipate a whole lot of mental energies. Once the mental energies are dissipated in outward objects and situations and plans, there will be no mental energy left for you to try to meditate. See, you have to block them. Just like I'll give you the example, I always give this example of the river. The flow of the river when it is blocked by a dam, okay, and one of the sluice gates is opened, only one sluice gate is opened in the dam, with how much force the water, the dammed river, how much force the water comes out. We all know electricity is generated. But if the water is just flowing without it being dammed, what is the flow? There's no power in the flow. It is a very softly, smoothly flowing river. Sometimes you even wonder that is the water flowing. It is so calm. So that is one thing. Now, your mind will generate a lot of power if you are able to dam it, if you are able to keep it like. Now, then the question is, why should I do all this? Especially youngsters ask. ये तो बहुत मेहनत है, हाँ, too much of problem, too much of tapas, too much of effort required. Why should I do it? Why should I meditate at all? What are the benefits of meditation? Now, it makes the mind agitation free. The medical benefits everybody knows, because these days all the papers, the magazines are writing about it. TV is broadcasting it. Companies who take on new employees are teaching them how to meditate, only for the medical benefits of meditation. It lowers the blood pressure, it lowers sugar levels, it frees your mind of tension, it is able to leave the mind for better performance and all that. Now, so the quieter, simple idea is, the quieter the mind, the easier for the divinity to reflect on the surface. And when divinity reflects on your surface, imagine the power of the divine. The power of the divine flows through these people. Anybody who can meditate well, you will notice a glow on that person. You will notice the peace on that person. Even when you near these kind of people, your mind settles down. A lot of people with lot of agitations go to such people. But even sitting with them, sitting with the master quietly, will also ease the tensions of your mind, because divinity reflects. There is a divine field created around him. Now come to verse 13. समं काय शिरो ग्रीवं धारयन्नचलं स्थिरः सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकनम्. Now see, samam kaya shirugriva. See, the external has been told to you. Now he is talking of the posture of the body. It is not just sitting anyhow. No, they look at the details the Gita is giving. It is telling you the posture of the body. The asana has already been described. The place has already been described. The mental condition, what you should try to achieve, has been described. And now the posture. Erect vertebra with the neck and head in one line. That is how you are to sit. Not slouching. The vertebra should not be bent. Otherwise, the energies that you generate that have to travel up your spine is not possible in a bent vertebra. Therefore, even if you're sitting on a chair, don't sit with the backrest, because the vertebra does not remain straight and in line with the neck and thing. See, your and joins with the head also. So then, since it is a very highly rarefied mental intellectual activity, at that time you must also see that it is the passage is clear to go up, and be absolutely still. And he says nasikagram. Dekho, the instruction is स्थिर तो हो गया, स्थिर मीन्स एब्सोल्युटली स्टिल. अचलम स्थिर. नाउ Sampreksha nasikagram swam. They say that you should focus on the tip of the nose. Acha bhai. Now just try. If you focus with both your eyes on the tip of your nose, very soon you will be squint-eyed or you will get a headache. तो ये क्या instruction है? What kind of an instruction is this? No, don't take it literally. Please understand that meditation is not open-eyed. You have closed your eyes already. ठीक है ना? So when you close your eyes, after that, when your mind becomes single pointed over here and focused over here, between, see, previous verses had said between the eyebrows. Here it is saying tip of the nose. So we want to say, Krishna, make up your mind. He is not talking physically. He is saying that you must, without looking around. देखो next line is नासिकाग्रम स्वम दिशश्चान avalokanam na avalokanam. It is explaining, it is self-explanatory, this stanza. The very next line is saying that don't look here and there. That means the attention should be focused centrally. Right in the center, focus. Only then your mind will be single pointed. If you are looking here, there, and everywhere, or the mind is going here, there, and everywhere, that is looking all over, isn't it? So that you should not do. It is a law that wherever the eyes go, the mind goes. Think about it. Wherever the eyes go, the mind will travel, because that becomes your point of attention. The mind and eyes together will travel to any one place, and there you get the attention. Now come to verse number 14. Now verse number 14, I will read out. It is प्रशांतात्मा विगत भी ब्रह्मचार्य व्रते स्थितः मन संयम्य माचित्त युक्त आसीत मत्परः. It says serene minded. This is one. Fearless. Number two. Firm in the vow of brahmacharya. Number three. Having controlled the mind, then thinking of me, and balanced. Let him sit. Again देखो, let him sit. It is not a walking meditation. ध्यान रखना ये बात का. कई लोग कहते हैं हमारा तो मेडिटेशन चलते चलते होता है, हमारा मेडिटेशन ड्राइविंग करते होता है, हमारा मेडिटेशन गोल्फ खेलते हो. I've given you the examples. You know, there are many kind of examples people come out with. कि हमारा तो उसी में कंसंट्रेशन हो जाता है. नो, इट इज नॉट. सम पीपल से हमारा तो कुकिंग करते करते मेडिटेशन हो जाता है. हाउ? You are standing, you are moving your hand, you are moving your body, your mind is thinking of what ingredients to put into the dish. How can you meditate? But clearly he is saying, देखो, first one is prashantatma. ठीक है? The very first word is prashantatma. देखो, shant is peaceful. Prashant, very very peaceful. I've told you कि प्र जब आगे लग जाता है तो the word gains a lot of more power. ठीक है ना? So here is Prashant Atma, very peaceful, single pointed. Next is a very important word, Vigat Bhi. Vigat means that has gone by, that is no more with you, that is called Vigata. So Vigata Bhi means totally without fear. It means you may be having fear before, but now it is totally without fear. देखो हमारे गॉड्स एंड गॉडेसेस वगैरह ऐसे खड़े होते हैं ना, दे आर ऑल सिटिंग और स्टैंडिंग लाइक दिस. नाउ दिस इज अ वरद हस्त मुद्रा. And foreigners generally ask you, why do your God stand like this? This is a giving hand, huh? Varada hasta, giving you boons, telling you, don't worry, I am there for you. He gives you abhay dan. बहुत बड़ा दान है ये. If somebody can make you fearless, if somebody can tell you, don't worry, I am there for you, I will always look after you. Right? So that kind of thing is the fearless is very, very important. Unless the mind is fearless, it's very difficult to meditate. देखो notice करना, your mind is always with fear. I'm not just saying it like that. Think about it. Mind is even little ones. What if my son fails? What if he doesn't get his job? Huh? What if my friend is angry? What if the maid doesn't come today? छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं. Even in your vocabulary, I'm afraid I cannot come today. What are you afraid? Why is that word there? I'm afraid I won't be able to make it today. बोलते हैं ना आप? Even so, then so these little fears, because you do not know. We all suffer from the fear of the unknown. Since you do not know what is going to happen, whom your child is going to marry, whether he will get a job or not, whether he will settle or not, or whether she is going to have a baby or not, whether she, so many things. People just make up in their minds all kinds of fears, and then they go on living with those fears. So it has to be a totally vigata. Vigat bhi tabhi ho sakta hai when you surrender to him. Leave it to him. Seriously try. I'm telling you, it works. It really works. Just leave it to him. Oh Lord, I am leaving it at your feet. Do whatever you think is best for me. I do not even know what is good for me. I do not have the intelligence to even ask whatever is good for me. Okay? So, Vigata, be. Then, Brahmacharya Vrate Sthita, it says, na? Brahmacharya Vrate Sthita, being established in the vow of Brahmacharya. Now, this word is also very commonly misunderstood by people. Brahmacharya generally tends to be a state of not being married or celibacy, not indulging in any sexual activity or thought. Now, this is part of Brahmacharya. It is not only Brahmacharya. It is one part of Brahmacharya, but Brahmacharya, it is a combination of Brahmana plus Charanti is equal to Brahmachari. Brahmachari. So, Brahma में विचरण करने वाला, that means whose mind is always with the Brahma, the highest reality, and जो उसी में विचरण करता है, his mind is reveling all the time in that, जिसका आचरण भी is connected to the higher reality, he is a brahmacharya sthita person. Now, देखो, how to do this? Then again the question, how to do this? देखो ये जो verse है ना, Gurudev used to say this verse 14 is the most important verse in this chapter. So you must mark it and learn it by heart, because sometime or the other it should immediately come into your mind when you need it. When you need the instructions of this verse, it should come into your mind, because this has got it has got a prescription as well as an instruction. दोनों चीजें हैं इसमें. First it tells you what you need, then it tells you how to do that thing, how to get that thing. So here it is. देखो, the first step sorry, first step is refuse to indulge in the objects, emotions, and thoughts world. Whenever the mind runs into those kind of channels and pulls you, withdraw the mind. Slowly, slowly, it starts happening so easily. It's no longer a tapas. You can do it at will. A mature seeker can immediately pull his mind whenever he wants to. If he decides to disengage with anything, he can do it. Straight away, he can do it. So, but for early people, it is that they immediately the mind finds something or the other fascinating, which the mind imagines will give you a lot of joy. And those fields you need to disengage from. But the mind will not easily disengage because mind is always attached to something or the other. Otherwise, it can't function. It is the nature of the mind to think about something. You cannot think without an object of thought. Thinking has to have an object. So when your mind attaches to that object, you are pulled to that. So how does one do it? देखो तरीका बहुत आसान है. मैंने पहले भी एग्जाम्पल दिया है. I'm giving it again. Of a child playing with a crystal vase. He has picked it up and the mother knows कि ये अपने हाथ से गिरा देगा. And especially if the mother says, oh my God, the child will drop it straight away and the vase will break. So what does the mother do? The mother brings some multicolored toy which is making some kind of a sound to attract the child and slowly, slowly brings it to the child, puts her hand under the vase, slowly disengages the vase from his hand, and the child will leave the vase and pick up that toy. You have to do the similar thing with the mind, You have to declutch from the octopus of the mind. In fact, the mental octopus has to leave its tentacles on you. Once it leaves its tentacles on you, the joy and the peace that floods your mind is tremendous. It is tremendous. So, you have to provide the mind with another field, just like the mother provides the child with a engaging toy. You have to pull the mind from OET, but along with immediately give the mind something else to play with. So what do you give the mind? You have to give the mind the blissful thoughts and the security of the higher. Unless the mind understands that he alone can give me joy, he alone can give me peace, he alone is my savior, the mind will not leave the toys of the world. It is impossible. He will never. Also understand, slightly mature seekers I'm talking to now. When your mind is slowly, slowly disintegrating, I'm using the word disintegrating, because the more you attune your mind to the higher, now you have got all those things in your mind, Niramaya, Nirmoha, Kalosh, this, that. I mean, all the attributes that you are thinking of, making your mind think in that direction. When you start thinking of that he is formless, he is all pervading, he's all powerful, he is this, he is that. तो क्या होता है कि the shape of your mind starts expanding. It expands and expands and expands till you feel that your whole individuality is getting sucked into a vast nothingness. And a fear grips your mind that you might die, or you might become mad, or your mind may blast. This kind, I'm talking of those who have gone deep into meditation. So don't worry otherwise. There's nothing to worry in that. And but what happens is that when you fear that your individuality is going to disappear, You suddenly pull back. With a jerk, you pull back into your safety of your mind, because you have been imprisoned for so long that you are very comfortable there. I give you the example of a parrot who has been caged for too long. You open the cage of the parrot. Huh? Now the whole sky is there for the parrot to fly. But the parrot doesn't fly because he cannot believe it that this little thing place where he was enclosed is now the freedom of the vast sky and he can go where he likes. He doesn't believe that. He can't bring himself to fly. So for a long time, he keeps roaming around in that open cage only, till the owner can catch hold of him, pull him out, and throw him up into the sky. Then he begins to fly. So the same happens with the mind. And so once you taste the joy, once you start feeling secure in that, you will automatically fly. Till now, your mind is enclosed into my house, my car, my children, my husband, my kitchen, my this, my that. Listen, have you thought the same place, the same piece of land? How many people before you have called it mine, where you are living just now? And just after a few more years, all that you possess, who is going to call it mine? Tell me. This my is an illusion. You never came with anything, you go with nothing. Only for a short time, you imagine that this is yours and that is yours and that is yours. हाँ? आप मलकियत को imagine करते हैं. The ownership you imagine, but nothing you own. So only with this attention to the higher, when your mind is neither dissipated nor ruined, the more your mind is into the world of objects, it is a destroyed mind. Believe me, it is a totally dissipated mind, a ruined mind. Those are the people who say कि हमसे तो होता ही नहीं meditation, because they have allowed their minds to go into so much of objects that they just cannot concentrate. It cannot, and they latch on to something or the other. And yeah, so these are the instructions given, that withdraw from the world of objects, emotions, thoughts, and attach it, be very still, attach it to the higher. Only then. Okay, now then, no thought and no action should pass you without your sanction. Examine yourself. What are the thoughts coming into my mind? Are they worth the thought? Just press the delete button out. Consciously throw them out. And also, don't go grazing into the world. Don't allow your mind to graze. That is animal like. And your mind will also become animal like. So withdraw, and withdrawal saves tremendous mental energy, as I have told you. And that mental energy alone you can employ in the field of meditation. Otherwise, you have no peace, no quietude, no strength to apply your mind. Okay. The second line is also very important. Machitta, it says, fixing your mind on me. है ना? That is the line it gives. It says, Machitta yukta asita matparaha. Fix your mind on me while seated. देखो बार बार ये रिपीट करते हैं कि meditation is done while sitting and being motionless. दो चीजें बार बार emphasize की हैं, seated and motionless, seated and motionless physically. mentally तो और बहुत कुछ है ना? So then let us practice even that. People are not able to even sit for long. Okay, now come to verse 15. Let us do the verse 15. युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिं निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति. I will read the translation. Thus, always. This word always is important. Huh? Thus, always, keeping the mind balanced, the yogi with his mind controlled attains to the peace abiding in me, which culminates in total liberation. Total, not partial. Total liberation, nirvana or moksha. So, this is the benefit you gain from meditation, that your mind becomes peaceful, you attain peace, as he says. What else? Your total, it culminates in total liberation. So, you are peaceful and then you become free. Free from what? Free from the shackles, the mind shackles, mental shackles of the world. It does not mean that you die or you bliss out into a state of drug addiction or something. It's not like that. You very much stay in this world. You are very much here. And yet you are free. Nothing can override you. Nothing can enslave you. Nothing can make you do things. Nothing can anger you. Dekho, understand one thing, that he that angers you conquers you. ध्यान से सोचना ये चीज. He that angers you conquers you because he is making you dance. He is making you irritable. He is making you upset, isn't it? And he laughs up his sleeve that, ha ha, I have achieved what I wanted to, isn't it? So, here, so verse 15 says, an agitation free mind easily and definitely reaches the Supreme. This is a promise from the Lord. This is what this verse is saying. An agitation free mind reaches the Lord. It says always keeping the mind. अभी लोगों को always पे आपत्ति होती है. People say that how can you always keep the mind balanced as a yogi? Always means at the time when you are trying to meditate, he is giving you instructions on meditation. So when he is talking always, he is talking during the time you are meditating, during the time that you are focusing. At that time, try to balance the mind. Now, Gurudev used to give the example of a nutty. You know what a nutty is? You know, you may have seen these little fairs and all in small towns and all, where they do that tight rope walk. Even in the West, I've seen they do it. They tie a tight rope and somebody or the other balances on that rope. Okay. So generally in the circuses also, yes, in a circus also they do it. A tight rope and a girl is balancing on it with an umbrella. How does she balance? कि इधर भी नहीं गिरे उधर भी नहीं गिरे. So whenever her balance goes this way, she takes the umbrella this side. It helps her to bring this side. When she is falling this side, she brings the umbrella this side. Gurudev used to say that the umbrella is your mantra. Avoid falling into pits by chanting your mantra. Keep it in your mind always. Even when you are engaging with the world, anything that you fear may go wrong, any tension that comes your way, any unforeseen tragedy hits you, immediately latch on to your mantra. Believe me, it helps hugely to balance the mind. I have tried it, I'm talking from experience. many, many, many times, you start doing your mantra, and you will notice that not only your mind balances, but also you become peaceful, you know how to tackle what is happening, and many a times, just with the power of the mantra, believe me, even the situations change magically. Again, I'm talking from experience. Many, many times. The situation changes so magically, it changes like upside down. आपको मंत्र सिद्ध होना चाहिए. And mantra siddha is only when you repeated it thousands of times in your mind, when you are constantly with the Lord and you're constantly surrendered to the Lord, honestly surrendered to the Lord. He doesn't leave you. He doesn't leave your hand. He is always there. Now, a quiet mind is equal to happiness. देखो ये युंजनत्व जो कहते हैं, this is balance. That balance has to be always in the mind. It should not be a seesaw. It should not be a seesaw mind. That means going into the past, going into the future, going into the past, going into the future. All the time our mind is doing that. Establish yourself in the sacredness of the present moment. Learn to be and live in the beauty and the sacredness of the present moment. Once you start doing that, just try and you get the practice of that. The degree to which you learn to do this, you get cash down payment. It is not only payment when you reach the highest or you realize, no, to the degree to which you are able to quieten the mind, to that degree, peace starts flooding into your soul and doesn't leave you. So, when the ego, which is the center focus of the mind, learns to hatch itself out slowly, slowly, it begins to breathe the air which is not imprisoned in the eggshell in which the ego was. The eggshell breaks, and the ego slowly, slowly can see light, and it can breathe fresh air to fly out. Now, a lot of people say, कि ये तो this is talking of duality. It is talking of you, the ego center, reaching him. Whereas all along you have been saying that it is all one, Advait. You talked of Advait. Now you are talking of Dvait. You and your mind is one, and he is another. So what is Krishna trying to say? He is contradicting himself over here. It is not so. It is again the same Vedantic example of the dreamer becoming the waker. The dreamer and the waker are not two people. It is a different state of mind, and then it is another state of mind. It is the snake becoming the rope. Dekho, when on a rope you are seeing a snake, it is a snake. But the same rope is recognized as a rope. The snake disappears. So are the snake and the rope two things? It is not dvait. You see it as two. It is actually one. It is the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. The same worm which crawled and fed on leaves and crawled on the ground has become a honey sipping, nectar sipping butterfly. Colorful, beautiful, and flying into the air. The expanse of the sky is his. So it is no longer crawling into a small space and living only on dry leaves or leaves. So it is not Dvait, it is one and the same thing that Krishna is talking. We'll do verse 16 next time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om